Welcome back, everybody. I'm Follygon, and our eyelashes are still looking quite a bit long here. So I'm just going to try to adjust these very quickly, and then we can move on to some other stuff. We can use our smooth brush to kind of try to work with this a little bit, but do be careful. I was mentioning in the last episode how your smooth brush can be very powerful and kind of destroy form just a little too quick for most people, unless you've been using ZBrush for a while and you got kind of a more steady hand and you know what you're doing. But if you would like, you can always hit that space bar and lower your Z intensity of your smooth brush, so it won't be quite as bad. But still do be careful with that brush, and if you do end up destroying too much form, you can always just undo that. Also, subdividing up a few times can also help you in that area. So I'm just kind of playing with the overall shape of the eyes here that I got going on, not necessarily the shape of the eyes, and I might like to move this corner forward, but just the interactions that we have going on here with the eyelashes. And I'm thinking that I might prefer to just remove one of these and just have two. Can play around with this, but we'll see where we end up going. Let's leave these eyelashes here for now, and instead we'll look at our eyebrows. And what I would like to do is just go ahead and throw that good old black skin shade 4 material on there, fill that object. Beautiful. Get our clay material, our Folly clay material back, and we got a little bit of a weird interaction happening there. Oh, that's because I accidentally clicked on it. I have them curving off and around her face, but D.VAs are a bit more on the thin side. So I think, just to get us closer to our character, and I just remembered the mustache here. Obviously, a beautiful D.VA character needs a mustache, I'll say no more. Or you can go back and watch the last episode if you ended up skipping one. But we'll mess with these eyebrows a bit here and try to get a little bit of a straighter, I guess, shape going on here. Just looking at my reference, trying to get the exact, not exact, but close to the shape of her eyebrows. And I do want that to be a nice clean curve, so I'll play with this here a little bit. And I typically like to draft my stuff back into my other shapes. I wouldn't want any part of these eyebrows floating, and that's more of a habit from my 3D printing days. And everything, of course, has to be touching if you're gonna try to 3D print anything. So I like to think about these things as I go, and I think overall it makes more sense to not have any parts floating. So I do want this stuff touching, and obviously it's not a realistic character, but I do want it to be able to exist in reality. So maybe if I wanted to 3D print this character after I was done, that would be possible. So eyebrows, more thin, more sharp. Eyelashes, I don't like what we got going on. Maybe we'll just redo it. I don't like redoing stuff completely. I like to use what I have. So if at all possible, let's try to do that. Let's try to maybe get like a little one, a little lash guy, whatever you want to call him, over here. Try to align this a bit better. Scaling's going to be weird because we have X symmetry on. What I'm going to do is a little bit of a cheat, sort of. I'm just going to delete my one side, and now when I scale in from over here, real quick, it'll only scale on that part. I think I'm going to need to beef up this little lash guy. He's a little tiny. We'll mess with him. And I'm looking at this. These are too long. This guy's too thin. So let's inflate. Deformation. Where are you? Inflate. There we go. Just give that a little bit of a bump up there. Try that. And if it's a little too big universally, we can try to smooth that and make the appropriate changes. I said previously that I wouldn't put any lashes down here, but I'm kind of reconsidering now, so maybe we will. I think I'm going to go ahead and fast forward just a little bit as I work on these eyelashes. I want to experiment a little bit, play around with it, and try to find something I like. I think you guys should do the same, but I'm going to go ahead and play around with this for a little bit. So you probably also notice me here. I stopped the fast forwarding now, but this part here that I'm adding in is, it doesn't have to be a separate piece, but I like to kind of keep this as a separate mesh. The inner part of the eye here, this inner just wet part of the lid, it's a pretty good technique. I saw it on a character once, and I've only tried it about like once or twice, and it's been a while since I've done it, so I think it might be cool to try it again. I'm not so crazy about this pink color, but I think for now, as well as the overall size of this, I mean, gosh, but I think we can get this to look pretty good if we play with it for a little bit. So I'll just kind of mess with it a little bit more here, and then we can also mirror these eyelashes. So the reason I did the left side is so that I can use mirror and weld, which is in your geometry palette under modify topology. But with that, I can turn my X symmetry back on, get a quick zoom out. Let's turn our mustache off for just a moment here. We can kind of get an idea of what's going on here. Looking from way back here, it's good to zoom out, get a bigger picture view, sometimes turning on perspective, or keeping it on for most of the time, depending on how you like to work. But I think this is just a wee bit too large, so I'm just going to use my move brush and I'm going to try to make that a little less in your face. Try to push that in. Again, as always, using that move brush. We can try to get that interaction looking a lot better there. Alright, I think that looks pretty decent for now in terms of our little eye goop, as we'll call it from now on. That is a technical term. But our eyelash, we can modify, or our lower lid. I mean, this isn't obviously an eyelash, but we can adjust it to make it look like such. It is more of a stylized shape, but I'm okay with that. Again, simple shapes and all that jazz. Let's take a look at our hair before we conclude for this part. Going down here to the bottom, I do have the auto collapse feature on, which is going to allow anywhere where I start a new Boolean group, whenever I turn on auto collapse, you'll see, well, I only have 3 or 4 subtools in here, but of course clicking on these will reveal the rest of those parts and pieces. Turning off auto collapse will not let any of these start groups collapse, and then you can see all of your subtools. So even all those changes to the eyes made our character look a bit more pretty. Let's not forget, of course, our mustache. That is the key defining feature. I'm just kidding. We'll get rid of the mustache. So in the next part here, we will continue to play with our face, our eyes, our eyelashes, our eyelids, everything, but our focus this time around will indeed be our hair. Because our hair, we're now, I feel like, at a point where we can start messing with this hair and getting a bit closer to D.Va. Maybe we can even block in where our headphones are going to be located. But we'll do all that in the next part, and I'll see you guys over there.